Hello, astrology enthusiasts. My name is Misty, and this is Dani, and we're here today with another um, segment of Astro Babble to talk upcoming transits for the month of June. And we're filming this on May 21st. During our May talk, we honed in on some of the intense energy of the month we're currently in and how intensity doesn't necessarily have to equal a crisis. So I'd say this has rung true for May for me so far. It has been a pretty intense month. It's been a little like go, 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 go. But every crisis that I've encountered has actually not been that much of a crisis. So, Dani, how has the month gone for you?
I agree. Like, there's definitely been some intense moments, but compared to the year that we experienced before,
Yeah,
I feel like this is just like normal intense, not intense intense. Not crisis
it's just
intense.
normal intense.
Yeah, like I feel like there was quite a few crises, and now we're just kind of like normal stress.
Yeah.
And and I do feel like this month has been like intense, but also long periods of like chill. Or at least
Yeah.
breathing. Maybe not chill.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's talk about the first week of June. I'm going to call this a breath before the next wave. So, this is really one of our quieter stretches that we've had all year so far. Intense, not crisis, continuing on the same theme. So 2026 astrology has been really packed, and our collective nervous system needs a break. And this week seems like we get a little bit of one. The end of May and beginning of June feel like a little bit of a pause to me. So integration, emotional processing, catching up with ourselves, regrouping before things speed up again is what we should use this week for. This coincides practically with those of us dealing with the school year closing out and heading into the Northern Hemisphere summer season. So I love it when the astrology aligns with what's going on practically, which is
Yes.
most of the time, it's like there's some order to the universe. So first we start off with Monday, June 1st. Mercury will enter Cancer, and this will bring the mind and emotions closer together. Collectively, we will become more sentimental, emotionally aware, and sensitive in communication. Conversations become less about what is technically correct and more about how does this actually feel. And then Jupiter's hanging out in Cancer too, so Jupiter's expanding our Cancer themes already. So Mercury coming into this same space brings more attention to emotional security, home and family, nurturing, belonging, and emotional impact of our choices. So it will be good to give some mental energy to this part of our lives as Jupiter is ending his stay here and will head into Leo on June 30th. So this is really the final stretch of this expansion that we have in this area of our life. So we've got Mercury there, put your thoughts there, put your communication there, write about it, figure out what you're going to do in these last 30 days that we have Jupiter bringing our good luck Santa Claus transit to Cancer. So this may feel like stronger intuition, emotional honesty, nostalgia, and more sensitivity to tone and energy. So some practical guidance for this time is slow your conversations down, speak carefully, don't ignore more emotional reactions just because they aren't logical. And this transit reminds us that communication isn't just information, it has emotional impact as well. Mercury moves pretty fast, so this is just a few weeks. So take advantage of it while you can and align your emotions and your expansion and your thoughts. Then heading into Tuesday, June 2nd, the Sun in Gemini will sextile Saturn in Aries, and this is pretty subtle, quick moving transit, but it is helpful. The Sun in Gemini wants movement, conversation, and curiosity, and Saturn in Aries wants discipline, structure, and intentional action. And so together, these help us organize our thoughts and move more strategically. So we may feel mentally clearer, slightly more productive, able to make decisions more calmly. Use this day to organize plans, handle practical conversations, and create structure around ideas. So this quietly helps life make sense again. For me, as a mom with a child in school, this makes sense of like, you've made it through the end of the school year, right? And then like Memorial Day happens and you've got some kind of party, whatever. And then now we're heading into like, okay, what is summer going to look like?
Hmm.
What do I want to have happen this summer? What's my new routine going to be? So that's what this really feels like to me. Then heading on to Wednesday, June 3rd, Mercury in Cancer will trine the North Node in Pisces. And then about 15 hours later, Mercury in Cancer will square Neptune in Aries. So this is emotionally intuitive, but also foggy in the same day. So you need to be a little careful here. So first, Mercury is going to trine the North Node, and this can bring meaningful conversations, emotional realizations, synchronicities, and moments that quietly redirect our path. You may feel like a conversation you have really matters or is more spiritually connected. You may feel more emotionally aware and guided toward what feels more aligned. But then several hours later, Mercury is going to square Neptune, and this can blur that clarity. So it's like you have this moment and then it gets all foggy again. Um, so this can look like confusion, misinformation, projection, emotionally charged misunderstandings. So we may feel intuitive today, but uncertain. There may be some emotional overwhelm, and we also could have some difficulty separating fear from intuition. So practical guidance for this day is to trust your intuition, but verify the facts, and don't rush any decisions today. Avoid assuming people should know what you mean emotionally. They cannot read your mind and they cannot read your heart. So today, intuition is strong, but so is projection. And then we get a few days of a break to just chill,
Hell
which
yeah.
is prolonged things happening every day.
I love a few days to chill. And I love what you said about Mercury and Cancer. And I do really think like I'm ready for more emotional and intuitive modes of communication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really ready for it. But I love what you mentioned about how what did you say? Like people can't read your mind. And that is something I really notice with people who have many Cancer placements, especially Cancer Mercury, where there is like you're skilled at anticipating one's needs. And I do think that's really great for Cancer season. We're more in tune with the needs of others, but it is going to be really important to remember that not everyone else can anticipate your needs.
Right.
So, yeah. So
People cannot
get
read your
communicative.
mind and they can't read your heart.
Yeah. Can't read your
Yeah.
heart. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, after our little break, going into week 2, this is June 7th through 13th. Um, our transits start on Tuesday on the 9th, with a Venus conjunction to Jupiter in Cancer. So today brings like a new beginning with an expansion of our desires. This is a really feel good day, especially when it comes to what we want to nurture and take care of. And with Venus's ruling, or with Cancer's ruling planetary body, the moon in Aries today, there's still this sense of like heat and impulsivity behind this transit that adds like almost a sense of adventure to whatever like little like pleasures that we're inviting in today. So it's like pleasurable adventures. Um, this day feels like calling into work for an impromptu trip to the beach to go water skiing.
Love it.
And just like disregarding responsibilities, fear focusing on like impulsive pleasures. So Tuesday seems like a really fun day. Even if you do end up going to work, there's just like there are fun vibes happening that day and fun and cozy vibes as well. So just like relaxing on a beach. Just that's what I am picturing with this one.
Love
So
it.
I think week 2 is really off to a nice start. Um, on Wednesday, the following day, so let's go along with the story as a like of you calling to work to go have fun. On Wednesday, the next day, then you have to struggle with explaining it to your boss. As Mercury in Cancer then squares Saturn in Aries. Today feels pretty tense, especially when it comes to wrapping your head around conflicting ideas of like, how do I meet my needs when I'm totally bogged down with my duties to others? And overall, this Wednesday is a stubborn day that could bring misunderstandings with authority figures and just in general, a lot of extra effort to get your point across in communications, which can bring out the more negative side of a Cancer and Mercury transit where we're feeling more protective and defensive. So be cautious of getting too defensive around people, especially like authority figures today. Um, but yeah, that energy is like, I called in sick to go have fun, and now I have to explain it to my boss. It's just not fun.
No.
Yeah. And then we get a little break on Thursday, but we come back with some more aspects on Friday. And Friday is a pivotal day as Uranus bends the nodes. So this is an not intense, but a dynamic friction transit. Uranus and Gemini brings social innovations and social disruptions. And today, particularly, this socially disruptive energy challenges us to release criticism so that we can move toward compassion and flow with creativity. So this energy makes me think a lot about AI actually, and how a lot of the conversations I've had lately on the topic, I hear a lot of people saying that like the mere existence of AI has actually been really empowering for reasons that are unexpected. Because like that South Node in Virgo is like our perfection zone, right? And then that's being challenged by Uranus and Gemini saying that we need to innovate. And then we're challenged to figure out how to do that. And so I hear a lot of these conversations around AI where they're like, I'm having to let go of perfection in order to keep up with the innovations and like in order to prove that I'm human, add a little typo in and learn how to be okay with it. Coloring outside of the lines is what makes you human. So right now, just embrace the disruptions and embrace the fact that it's making more room for you to make mistakes. And then on Friday, June 12th also marks the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow period. So if there's anything particularly important that you need to get done before more potential disruptions, do it now. You have 2 weeks to start like getting your stuff together that you don't want to go wrong later down the line. Um, yeah, focus on the important, just like to-dos for the next few weeks, I would say.
I like that we're getting this attention there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And then on Saturday, June 13th, we have Venus squaring Chiron, and entering into Leo. So the day starts off with the Venus square to Chiron as it makes its way out of the sign of Cancer. And this is a clash between the value of our nurturing energy versus our wounds about autonomy and independence. It's kind of like a mom and child dynamic where like there's a fussy mother who's taking care of a child and the child does not want any of it and is like, leave me alone, mom. That's kind of the energy of the day. It is a very comfortable day with support from the moon in Taurus, but Chiron in Aries really challenges us to step outside of this comfort zone for the sake of personal growth. And then we do get a fresh boost of confidence after this a few hours later when Venus enters Leo. Um, Venus and Leo is the hallmark of hot girl summer. I like Venus and Leo is hot girl summer. Like it's the definition. Leo Venus loves loudly and takes a sense of pride in matters of love, beauty, and value. From now until July 9th, we're really focused on our sense of fun, and playfulness within relationships. But also, on the other hand, make sure that the way that you show love is not centering yourself. that's just going to be something to note. But otherwise, I love Venus and Leo. It's always a fun time. So enjoy it. It might be a little bit rough down the line as it starts to oppose Pluto, but we're not worried about that right now. We're
Not
not
today.
worried about that right now.
Not today, Satan.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
Um, I mean, it sounds like a teenager, the
Yeah,
Venus Chiron and then entering Leo. Yeah. So dealing with
it's
a
a
teenager.
teenager week.
Yeah. Summer. I mean, the astrology feels like summer. Sorry, Southern Hemisphere people, but doesn't it just feel like
It
summer?
feels like summer.
The astrology feels like summer. So bring it on. Bring
Bring
it
it
on.
on. Hot girl summer is here.
Yay! All right. So heading into week 3, which is June 14th through 20th, we have new ideas, new direction, new identity. The energy starts picking back up. Whew. Okay. This week feels mentally electric because we're deep in Gemini season and Uranus is now in Gemini, which changes the collective atmosphere around this. So things are moving faster, conversations, information, ideas, technology, social dynamics. It kind of feels like the future is arriving faster than we expected it to. It's like, oh, okay, here we are. So starting on Sunday, June 14th, we have a new moon in Gemini. So more Gemini fast moving energy. This feels active because Uranus is here as well. And Gemini rules communication, media, technology, learning, transportation, and social interactions. And Uranus electrifies whatever it touches. So, and then a new moon is a new beginning, right? And so we can expect surprising announcements or sudden changes in direction, new ideas arriving quickly, breakthroughs in communication or technology or AI or aliens. So this is new beginnings about mental reinvention, curiosity, flexibility, and trying something new. So we're probably going to feel really mentally stimulated this day, restless, excited about possibilities, inspired to learn, speak, write, or create. I feel like I can already feel the buzziness, like so I feel like when Uranus is involved and then Gemini in general, it's just like everything's like
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
mosquito, like a mosquito or like a yeah. Anyways, buzzing, buzzing. So let's see. So practical guidance would be to stay flexible, let yourself experiment and write down ideas immediately because insights may come fast. I think we talked about this last month, talking about Gemini, like have a notebook in your purse because the
Hmm.
ideas are going to come fast, or like have a note taker on your phone because you got to catch these when they show up. This new moon wants movement mentally, socially, and creatively. And so that's Sunday. We have this new moon, new beginning. Let it start. Then heading into Monday on June 15th, we have Venus and Leo sextiling Uranus and Gemini. So more Uranus, Gemini, buzzy energy. So this is a continuation of the exciting social energy we were feeling yesterday. This is unexpected connections, creative inspirations, exciting conversations, and people craving authenticity and individuality, experimentation in relationships. We may feel attraction to people who feel different or stimulating, a desire for attention and self expression, creative breakthroughs. So say yes to inspiration and let yourself be seen creatively. This is bold self expression with a spark, a spark of unpredictable. I can't speak. Unpredictability. Gemini's getting me. All right.
Yes.
So that is Monday. Then on Tuesday, Venus is going to trine Neptune. So Venus and Leo will trine Neptune and Aries, and things get a little foggy and romanticated. So we've got romantic, creative, idealistic energy now. This is less buzzy. This is more like, let's drink the champagne. This is collective artistic inspiration, fantasy and imagination, emotionally dramatic expressions of love or desire. This is Cinderella. Okay. This is so Cinderella, like the because like she only has a little bit amount of time, but she's like getting lost in the delusion. Like, I don't know, there's something about this Venus attaching to Neptune and Uranus in the same period. Doesn't that feel like the Cinderella story to you a little bit?
Yeah, and both in fire signs, there's like this go behind it that is very Cinderella, I
Yeah,
think.
like
It's like, I gotta
I've got
go.
to, yeah, I've got to meet him and then I've got to leave. I've got to go. I've got to go. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And then she loses her shoe because Neptune. Okay. Anyway, so we may feel more romantic, emotionally expressive, and creatively inspired, but watch out for the shadow side, which can show up as idealization, projection, falling in love in 2 minutes, and then you must spend the rest of your life with them. Potential instead of reality. Like, I don't know her name, but I must find this tiny foot. So this feels like cult leader worship energy to me as well. Like,
I can see
doesn't it
that, yeah.
like this is the one. I'm gonna do whatever I can for this person,
For this
including
charismatic, fiery leader.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I like the Cinderella story that came today more than the cult leader
I do
story
too.
that came
I do too.
when I was typing this out. Yeah. Let's go with Cinderella. But I mean, you get it. So watch out for this a little bit. Enjoy the beauty. Enjoy what it's bringing to you, but don't abandon your discernment. Like, don't drink the Kool-Aid, okay?
Don't
Just
do it.
no Kool-Aid today.
But do drink the champagne.
Yes, champagne, not Kool-Aid. Champagne, yes, Kool-Aid, no. Let's make a t-shirt.
Yes.
So this also can just make the whole day just feel like you're in a movie. It's going to feel more cinematic. So
Mm.
that's Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Venus is just having all the conversations because now she's going to oppose Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And this is emotional intensity. This is when you realize that the cult leader wants you to do something you really don't want to do. And you have to deal with the control that comes along with that. Or you're being hidden in the attic while your stepsisters try on the shoe and break it.
Hmm.
This moment. So there's our collective themes of power struggles and relationships, jealousy, obsession, control, emotional truths surfacing dramatically. And then Pluto retrograde intensifies this as internal emotional processing. So you're going to be feeling the feels about all of the control that you're experiencing. So we may feel triggered emotionally today. We may feel deeply vulnerable and aware of relationship imbalances. So this is a red flag day. Just like journal, go take a bath, watch some Netflix. Don't write the 3 page long text. Don't do it.
That's gonna be
Um,
hard for me.
don't do it, Misty. So avoid manipulation games and notice where ego and fear are driving reactions. So this transit will expose where love and power have become tangled together. This is like, oh my gosh, I just realized that my boyfriend's abusive, like one of those days.
Hmm.
So just watch out for it. This is the whole point of astrology is like you're aware of it. So when it shows up, you don't get pulled into it. You can like step back. Okay, this is what it is. Now I have a symbolism to talk about it. Let me talk about it. Let me process it. Let me move forward with maturity instead of getting caught into the story, right? That's why we use astrology. Then we get to recover on Thursday. Hallelujah. And then Friday, Chiron enters Taurus. And this is a very important long-term shift. And we get a hint of what this is going to be with for us for the next 3 months. And then it's going to return to Aries until April of 2027. And then in April next year, it will stay until 2033. So kind of like last year where we got this hint of what this year was going to bring. We're getting that with Chiron right now. And so I find it interesting that this healing is beginning right when Uranus is leaving Taurus for good, right? So Chiron is the wounded healer. I think of Chiron as like surgery, like you have to be cut open and things have to happen and then you have to lay in the bed and then you have to go to physical therapy and learn to walk again, but then you're better, right? And so like maybe hopefully because it's the wounded healer, but this is a process, right? And so that Chiron is entering Taurus right when Uranus is leaving Taurus, right? Like Uranus has like changed everything about Taurus, and now Chiron is coming in like a surgeon to figure out what needs to be fixed. And we get a little hint of that for the next 3 months. And then it will go back in Aries. And then next year we get it for real. For then we get it for 6 years. So this is a collective healing story beginning around self-worth, money, security, survival, the body, and stability. So we have all let go of this stability that we have not had access for the past 7 years. And that's shown up in like Bitcoin. Um, our food has become less stable than it was. We're dependent on AI. Like we're up here in the space world a lot more than we were before Uranus was in Taurus and like making everything there unreliable. And so now as a collective, we get to go through the process of healing. And it's a process of healing. It's not just like suddenly you're healed and it feels good, right? That's what Chiron is. The process of healing our relationship to stability. And what is stable of this incarnation on Earth is Earth and the things that come with Earth. And that's self-worth, money, security, survival, your actual body, stability. So this is going to bring deeper conversations over the coming years around economic security, sustainability, food systems, value and labor, AI taking all of our jobs, healing our relationships with safety and scarcity, universal basic income. Like these are the things, the conversations that we are going to expect to have. Personally, we may begin confronting fears about stability, self-worth wounds, and attachment to material security. So we may feel awareness of where we don't feel safe. So this is like figuring out where we're sick so we can have the surgery. This is a desire to build something lasting and sensitivity around money and value. So focus on building stability slowly. Uranus is gone, and now we get to start building again. And then you get to redefine worth beyond productivity or possessions. Worthiness just for worthiness sake. So this is a very long process of healing, and we're healing what we thought we needed in order to feel safe. So this is a big shift.
It is. I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. And with Chiron, healing and woundedness is definitely a big part of the story, but I also want to add like pay attention to any like mentor figures that
Mm.
come into your life, especially as it moves into Taurus, because a central part of Chiron's story in mythology is mentorship. To operate as a whole person centaur, he needed mentorship from Apollo. And then he then became a mentor to others to help them overcome their own wounds. And so it is this overcoming of woundedness through learning, through getting help from others, especially. So pay attention to mentors in your life and how they can help you with these Taurus themes, especially.
It's a good thought. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Alrighty.
going into week 4 and 5, week 4.5. We start off on Sunday, June 21st. It's officially Cancer season. So I love Cancer season. I love it so much. When the sun transits Cancer, we become more protective of ourselves and also those closest to our hearts. And the sun's light shines on what is comfortable and familiar, and we stick to what we know. And Cancer is ruled by the moon, which governs our habits, and we become creatures of habit during Cancer season. So, with so much focus on comfort, familiarity, protection, you might not be as open to trying new things under this transit. So, like, just stick with what you know and stick with what you know brings you comfort. It's fine. We're really like it's time to like take initiative for your comfort. Try not to get too caught up in emotions of the past because we're also going to be feeling maybe a little bit more nostalgic and sentimental. But Cancer season it's a time where we really do shine the brightest among the people we're closest to. And Cancer season is like sitting on the porch in the rocking chair in the evening, watching the fireflies. Cancer season is cookouts at the lake with your family. Cancer season is the time for making the memories for you to be nostalgic about later on. So, and again, this is from the Northern Hemisphere perspective. So, if anyone's watching from the Southern Hemisphere, what's your relationship to Cancer season? I want to know because is it as fun and cozy vibes? I don't know. Um, and then we get a break on Monday, and we're back on Tuesday, the 23rd, with the sun trining the North Node. So today we find clarity through the chaos. It is an intense day because the moon is in Scorpio, making us feel emotionally intense. But the big aspect of this day is the sun harmonizing with the nodes. It's almost as if whatever emotional intensity we face today makes things more clear about where we're going and what we're doing. It's an emotional day where we're going to be in our feels, but whatever bubbles up to the surface this day is just a reminder to really focus on compassion and carry that with you moving forward. Like just be more compassionate with yourself. Um, on Thursday, June 25th, Thursday feels a little bit like getting gaslit by someone who's hot and toxic.
Okay.
We're getting gaslit by someone hot and toxic. So we're still feeling emotionally heavy on Thursday because the moon is still in Scorpio. And we're asked to mature in matters of love and not get lost in a fantasy. As Leo and Venus trine Saturn, and then the Sun in Cancer squares up with Neptune. So, Venus and Saturn are going to ask you to commit to something today, and that commitment, in particular, might be one that you make to yourself.
Mm.
Although it might be done with a heavy heart because of the moon in Scorpio, also challenging this Venus placement. This dynamic feels a lot like having to handle a hard situation, with the goal of walking away with your pride still intact. So keep your pride intact today. Um, Later, when the sun in Cancer squares Neptune and Aries, we're questioning reality and we'll probably get pretty defensive about it, which is where the gaslighting feeling is coming about. If you are in a bad mood today, just be mindful not to project it onto others and vice versa. Um, at the end of the day, we're all living in our own version of reality, but especially today. So be mindful of projections for sure. And then we end the week on Saturday, June 27th, with Mars and Taurus sextiling Jupiter and Cancer at the very urgent 29th degree. That's the last degree a planet can be in before it shifts signs. So it's very urgent, gotta wrap things up type of energy. And these two are slowly wrapping up their energy in their respective signs and giving each other a boost on the way out. This is a day for more leisurely fun than we have had lately. This is like a Saturday where you're just like, okay, I'm glad the week is behind me. I'm tired of getting gaslit and all of this stuff. And so this is a day to have more fun. You might have a lot to do, and a lot of energy to exert, but it anything that you put forth today is going to feel more inspired and optimistic. And then the next day, we start off the final week of June on Sunday, the 28th. Mars enters Gemini. So we're fighting with our words. When the planet of action enters social Gemini, we can get things done through the power of learning and communication. This is an optimal time if you have any writing work to do. This is also a fantastic period for learning new skills and getting more socially active. The downside is that in mutable Gemini, Mars lacks a bit of direction and you might feel more distracted than usual. It's very much this energy of getting caught up in a conversation instead of actually doing the action. So be mindful of distractions. Um, but this is also an excellent period for confronting conflict through conversation, but be mindful about your words turning into something like hurtful or becoming an argument. And especially since Mars is now starting its conversation with disruptive Uranus and Gemini, we could be building up into something unexpected with social tensions as we go into July. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to this a little bit. I'm interested to see how Uranus plays a role into everything. The last time, so Gemini's in my sixth house, which is like work and health and routine. And I was like so gung-ho of like, I'm gonna do so much work while Mars is in Gemini. In reality, I did not get that much work done, but I started a writing routine. I started journaling every day. So,
What? When was Mars and Gemini lost?
it was a few years ago.
Well, 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
I
few
have
years ago.
the dates. Yeah.
Yeah. So I forget exactly the month, but it was a few years ago. And I was like, all I got out of this transit was a journaling routine.
That's important.
It is important. It is. Moving on to Monday, the 29th, we have a full moon in Capricorn. So, full moons are a time of culmination where we're asked to let go of what weighs us down so that we can start moving forward. During this lunation, in particular, we are called to find balance between seeking comfort with the sun in Cancer versus pursuing our goals with the moon in Capricorn. And the archetype, not the archetype, but I would say the symbol of Capricorn is that of a goat or a sea goat, even. And just think of like how a goat climbs a mountain. It never goes like the easiest way possible. It's always like, I'm going to take the path that stresses me out the most, but they will always get to the top. Um, so that's going to come up with this full moon of like, you're really putting your head down, getting the work done. But on the other hand, always focusing so much on the goal can totally ruin your ability to appreciate the current moment and make memories in the moment. So this full moon is also pretty confusing as it squares off with Neptune and Aries. We all have a dream of who we want to be and what we want to do. And this moon is really telling us to take the risk and let go of comfortable familiarity so that we can make that a reality, or let go of unrealistic fantasies about what it means to be secure and successful. Both sides of the coin can often become more of an illusion than what we realize. So that'll be interesting. Moon in Capricorn is not the most fun. The moon does struggle there, but it's just a put your head down and focus on things type of energy. And then we wrap up the months with Jupiter entering Leo on June 30th. So Jupiter, I made a reel about this the other day because I've been thinking about it a lot. But Jupiter is commonly known as the planet of luck and abundance. But let's break down what that really means. Because Jupiter is a planet of luck because Jupiter is rooted in faith and belief, which is a requirement if you want luck and success in life. You have to believe that it will come. Um, Jupiter is associated with abundance because it expands whatever it touches. This can be a great thing, but it can also be a not great thing. In every reading I do, and if I touch on Jupiter, I always remind my clients like, I'm saying the word abundance, but I'm not saying it in the woo-woo way of like manifesting abundance. Oh, I'm rich, I have so much money. Abundance is literally just means a lot of something. It literally just means a lot. And so in the sign of Leo, this looks like a collective expansion of confidence and playfulness for the next year. But this can also manifest as an expansion of pridefulness, selfishness, childishness, and maybe even like an authoritarian nature. So wherever Jupiter transits for you, it's there to really like expand that area of life for you and hopefully bless you with something if you're acting with optimism and having belief in it. But look at the area, look at the house in your chart where Jupiter is transiting, and you'll see where you're about to get a lot more activity going on. But yeah, I would say even though Jupiter in Cancer has been fantastic, I am excited for Jupiter to be in a fire sign.
Yeah, I think it'll give more energy.
Yeah, more energy, maybe more of an ability to like manifest things more quickly.
Yeah.
Um, for sure. But
Make
how has Jupiter in Cancer been for you?
um I I'm pretty thankful for Jupiter in Cancer. I mean, when did it first start? June last year?
I think so. Like a Jupiter transit is about a year.
Year,
So,
yeah. Um, so I think in general it's just like brought a lot of attention to my actual like day-to-day routine. And I think that that's something that people should think about as like abundance is also attention, right? Like
mhm.
there's going to be a lot of activity wherever Leo is for you. And so wherever that whatever state that house is already, it's going to get more of that. Right? So like if there's chaos there already, it's going to be so much chaos that you have to deal with it. Or if there's order there already, it's going to like help you make that order even better. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So as far as for me, Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer has been me really like getting down into a routine of a life that I want to live. Because in my sixth house.
Mm.
And so that's like doing yoga every morning, my spiritual practice, like the routines that I need to happen for me to feel like my life is functioning, like really figuring those out. But it's been a whole year of like those falling apart or not having time to do them because I had too much going on and figuring out that I need to get rid of things. Like when I started this Jupiter in Cancer transit, I had four jobs and now I have one, like so I mean, yeah. So that's how it's been for me. And what about you? It's been in your seventh house.
Yeah, it has been really good, I would say. It did not go how I expected necessarily, and I am bad about that when looking at astrology and my transits in my own chart. I'm like, this is what I think I could
Yeah.
expect, and then it doesn't go that way. And so I was expecting out of this transit, I was really working on building my freelance business at the time. I did get more clients, but the freelance business also fell apart. So because there was too much going on. But on the way out, even though my job's different, I do have like 15 clients now, which is a lot more than I had when I started. And then it's just brought me closer to people like my partner. And then I've started my podcast with you, and then my other podcast. So just like collaboration has been really important for the Jupiter and Cancer transit for me.
Yeah. You said the phrase that I think what like is what a Jupiter transit is that you said it fell apart because it was too much.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like Jupiter is going to make too much too much. and it was
Yeah,
all
which is crazy because I only had like 3 or 4 clients at that time, but it was like the work I was doing was really stressful, and some of them were wanting to treat me more like an employee. And now that I'm an employee for an agency, it has been a lot easier to juggle a lot of more clients because there's just like more support. So, and they
support.
want nothing to do with me. I'm not hand holding as much.
Right, right. You don't like, you haven't given them your soul. So
Yeah.
I think of two archetypes when I think of Jupiter. I think of Santa Claus, but I also think of Henry VIII.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can see it.
yeah. Like too much. All the wives.
All of the wives.
Religion
Let's
is
just kill them
mine.
all.
All the food. Like he got so overweight and like he was like the ultimate evil Santa Claus. Like, I want all the things.
hmm
And if you're against me, off with your
Yes. And then there's actual Santa Claus giving actual gifts to a
right,
lot of children.
right. But they're kind of the same energy.
Yeah. It's
So
excessive.
excessive. Yeah.
hmm
So yeah, Henry VIII.
I love this. I'm just like always gonna think about Harry the Eighth as
It's fitting,
Jupiter.
right? It's so him. I don't know what his chart looks like at all.
I'd say Henry the Eighth part like especially for Jupiter and Leo.
Yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
king that because Leo is the king archetype.
Right. Yeah. Santa
So
Claus is like Sagittarius Jupiter.
yeah.
Um, and it's Sagittarius season. Christmas is, really like the Christmas
I
season
don't
is
know.
Sagittarius.
Do you think Santa is Sagittarius Jupiter or Pisces Jupiter? Because I feel Pisces Jupiter.
How I think of him as Sagittarius Jupiter because,
Why?
well, Christmas season is Sagittarius season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. And my Pisces experience is just a lot more spiritual than like practical in any way.
Okay.
Why do
Hmm.
you think of Santa as
I don't know.
Pisces?
Santa just feels more Pisces energy to me. It's more like whimsical and like La La Land and fantasy. Santa's totally real, by the way.
Of course.
Um, if
See,
any children are watching.
I think of Sagittarius as fantasy and La La Land.
Ooh,
I don't think that you think of Sagittarius that way because it's your 12th house.
probably not. I think the fantasy La La Land of Sagittarius to me makes me think of like that random like nomad person that you know who's like in La La Land and they're just like spending tons of money on their travels and
I
not
see it.
thinking about
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, like the festival
yeah,
person, the festival
yeah.
queen.
The festival queen or like the charismatic leader at church who's like
Yeah,
fire and brimstone.
I think because Christmas is a Christian holiday, I've
Yeah.
attached that in there too. But I mean, Pisces is Jesus. So, girl,
Yeah.
now we need to do another Astrobabble. Is Santa, an Astrobabble on Santa.
Okay, I'll make a calendar note for Christmas. That can be our Christmas episode.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Okay. So,
Okay, well, let's wrap it
yeah,
up
let's
then.
wrap it up. Oh my gosh. I'm like, now I want to Astrobabble some more. Okay. So, what are your thoughts about June period?
It seems like it's gonna be fun. It seems like there's some spots where it's gonna be rough around the edges that really makes us like question things. But overall, there's like fun vibes going on behind that. It's just like I'm gonna be at the beach thinking about like this toxic person in my life or
Yeah,
whatever.
but there's nothing that seems like crazy, right? Like, isn't this a month
No.
that doesn't have something crazy and all the other months have had something crazy?
Yeah, I don't think this seems crazy. I think like the emotional intensity is like the worst part of this month, but it's not necessarily crazy. It's just like that vibe, that feeling that you get where you're like knowing something needs to be like changed and you need to like yeah, you need to change something, but you don't want to change something. It's hard to do. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but nothing
like a little
crazy.
bit of exposure to what needs to be fixed, but
Yeah.
nothing like making the fix happen quickly or stressfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thoughts about June. I do think in general it's letting us catch our breath,
Hmm.
which I'm thankful for because, July is going to be not breathable.
Oh yeah, I peeked into July and I'm not looking forward to it. Sorry, guys. July 4th. July 4th.
It's going to be a great fight on the White House lawn.
But we'll save that for next month. But since it's early enough, close to the end of June, just keep an eye out for July 4th. Just
Yeah.
keep an eye out for July 4th. Who knows?
Oh, well, yeah, we'll probably have this out by then. But anyways,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll definitely have it by July 4th. But okay, so back to June. We're just in May now. We don't have to think about July yet. But I do think that this is a transition point between catching our breath and then we are going to reaccelerate at the end of the month as we head into dun, 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 July. But early June does give us some space to process, and then everything wakes back up mid-June. Gemini energy brings movement, conversation, ideas, and change. But underneath that, there's a deeper question of what kind of future are we actually building. So my final wrap up about this month would be that you do not need to react to every shift immediately. So like we were saying, this is just like the understanding, awareness of things that need to shift, but not a crisis that's making them shift up right now. So some of the most important changes this month happen through observation, conversation, and quiet realization. So stay flexible as always, stay grounded as always, protect your nervous system as always. Let yourself evolve with the moment instead of trying to control it as always. So, yeah. Misty, what do you have going on this month?
Um, who knows what I have going on? I am, you guys, I'm late on my Zodiac collection. I have the designs. I'm just getting them printed. So I might have Miss Gemini up on my website, but I'm still working on Taurus right now. So, but I do have notebooks if you want to be taking notes during Gemini season. I have lots of
Ooh,
notebooks.
yes, perfect.
Yes. And
Uh,
readings are still closed to the public and only doing like my return clients right now and then my public readings whenever I do them. So, yes.
you'll have time one day.
Yeah.
My books are open, so you can check out my website for those. So, where do they find you, Misty?
mercurialgirlstudios.com and at Mercurial Girl Studios on the platforms.
And I am at planetsinpraxis.com and at Planets in Praxis on all the platforms. So, thank you guys for being here. Do you have anything else, Misty?
No, I'm ready to go to bed.
Girl, same. All right. Well, thank you guys for moving through this astrology with us. If this episode resonated, please share it with someone who needs it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.